Hello and welcome to Chicken Tuesday. Today I thought I'd take you a tour of the Chicken Coop and Run and let you see where my girls spend their time when I'm not out in the garden with them. Okay, so let me show you around the coop and the run that I have for my 4 girls. There's 2 girls in the coop at the moment getting round to laying, so you'll hear all sorts of little noises as they settle down onto the nest and argue over which nest box they want to be in and so on. I think it's Hamble and Beryl that are in there. Anyway, so here is a coop, and I got the coop from a place in Scotland called Perthshire Poultry, and this is their middle-sized coop, and it's meant to take, I think it's meant to take 8 large breed chickens. I have 4, so there should be tons of scope for expansion. And yeah, it's quite large. It's wooden. It was treated wood. I've subsequently treated it again myself after the first year. Easy access into the coop. There's a door here. I'll just... Sorry girls. Hi, what are you arguing over that nest box, Hamble, are you? Is that the one you want? Let me just switch this light on. Don't know whether that's any better. So, inside we have 2 removable perches. They can be lifted out for the girls to sit on at night. And we have 2 nest boxes. Sorry, it's not very light in here. There's one. And there's the other. Sorry, Beryl. I know you're trying to lay. And really that is it inside the... Oh, who's this? Hello, Edith. Edith's coming in for a look as well. So yeah, so this is where they come in to sleep and where they lay their eggs. They tend not to spend too much time in here other than that. So Hamble's getting her knickers in a knot and making all those squealing noises because she wants to lay in the same nest box that Beryl is using. There's 2 nest boxes, but you'll find they'll queue up for one. And it might not be the same one each time, but that's what they're like. Oh, we're all in now. And we're not all laying, we're all just in for a little look around. Sorry, Hamble. So yeah, so they come in here to perch at night, to sleep, and to lay at various times during the day. Obviously, they lay maximum of 1 egg a day, although they don't necessarily lay every day. On the floor I have, it's a wood chip, a dust extracted wood chip. It's called Easy Bed, and it's great for having in locations where you have chickens because it's not dusty and they can, it's insulating, it's very warm. Hamble. In the nest box. Sorry girls. In the nest box I have, it's a dust extracted shavings. Again, keeping dust to a minimum is very important for chickens. Right, I'm going to shut the door. Sorry girls, hang on. Shut that light out. Right, there, have some peace. So that's inside the coop. You can see that the nest box comes out, protrudes, which is great because it gives more space inside for roosting while still having the nest boxes. And it also means that you get easy access to the nest boxes. You don't have to open that door and stretch in when you're picking up the eggs. Sorry girls, I'm going to lift this again. So there we can see, oh dear, there we can see I can easily get in and pick up any eggs that have been laid. Matilda, you're not even laying, so why are you in here? Okay, there you go. So that's the coop. I love this coop. It looks like a classic chicken coop and it's really functional. Oh, jings. Right, let's go on to the run. They don't always make this noise. Okay, so this is the run. The first bit of the run that I got built when I first got the coop. And this is about 8 feet by 4 feet. Handball? Shh, 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 girls, it's okay. And also on the floor here, we have more of the easy bed, the shavings. It's actually not on the ground, this run. I've got a real slope in the ground here. So the base of the run was actually 2 lots of marine ply, which is really heavy duty and sort of moisture resistant plywood, and it's sitting on breeze block. It means also it gets it off the ground and it stops the damp getting in. The walls of the run are this reasonably heavy gauge welded mesh with very small holes so that, you know, small rodents and things can't get in. And there is a roof on it, and it's a sort of, I can't remember what you call this plastic. It's a really hard plastic. I'll maybe go outside. Hard plastic roof, which means that you get lots of light in, but it keeps the rain and predators out. If I look back at the coop, you can see there's what they call the pot hole. So that leads from the coop out into the run. And there's a metal door there, and there's a metal door because actually, if I just zoom in there, I have an automatic door opener. It's called Chicken Guard, and you can either tell it to open at dawn and close at dusk, or you can set a timer, and I do the timer. So I can specify the time I want that to close and the time that I want it to open, which is great because it means that I can have a lie-in at the weekend and I don't have to get up to let the chickens out into the run. The door opens and in they go themselves. And as for going in at night, chickens are really clever, actually. Going in, Hamble, I know you're still wanting to lay. They, as soon as it starts getting dusky, they just go up their little ramp and into the coop. So I never have yet had a girl that was locked out in the run when the automatic door closer has closed the door. So that's fantastic. They just let themselves in and they let themselves out. But they're still within the confines of the run, so they're nice and secure. Because that is the thing that is most important, I would say, when you're keeping chickens, and that is to keep them safe. Now, accidents do happen, I know, but all you can do is be as vigilant and as careful as possible to make sure that the run and the coop are as secure as possible. So, what have I got hanging around in here? I've got water. And obviously clean water is very important for everything, including the girls. And I have here another feeder, and this feeder has got pellets in it, layers pellets they're called. And that's really the staple diet of chickens. Well, obviously it wasn't in days gone by, but it is now, because it's a concentrated feed that contains everything that chickens need. So I just fill this up, or not completely fill it up, make sure there's always pellets in there so they can help themselves. But I do give other things as well. For example, oh, here's Amble again. We have a watermelon hanging up there, which they're quite partial to. And when I take it into the extension, you'll see some other things that I feed. The 2 little feed dishes that are hanging on the back wall there, one contains oyster shell, which the girls need to get calcium into their systems. And obviously calcium is really important for chickens because they use it a lot when they are preparing the eggs. And the other one is for grit, and grit is really just little tiny bits of stone. The grit I get is It's called a gourmet grit. So it's got other little bits and pieces added to it. So there's a sort of red tinge there. That's from the gourmet grit. But grit is used by chickens to grind down their food. Because chickens actually, when they eat, what they eat goes into a sort of holding area called a crop. And that sits on the right hand side of their chest. And then the food gradually passes through their stomach into what's called a gizzard. And the gizzard is an area where the grit that they eat goes, and it grinds up the food, because chickens don't have teeth. And you'll have heard the expression probably, something being as rare as hen's teeth. That's because chickens don't have any. Yeah, so there's Matilda having some grit there. Also important for the girls are perches outside, or things to sit on, and just to give them a bit of height, because they do like perching rather than just sitting about on the floor. So here we've got the highest perch, which is maybe a couple of feet off the ground, and then there's a middle-sized perch and a lower perch. Matilda's now making her way into their chicken extension. The tail end of last year, I got an extension added to the run just to give them a bit more space. They don't spend all their time in here. I do let them out in the garden anytime I'm in the garden, but of course I'm not in the garden all of the time, so it's nice for them to have a little bit more space. So if I just come out here and go to the extension. Hello girls. So same stuff on the floor. We've got a perch at the back there. There's a wooden mushroom that I got from somewhere that's in there that they can sit on, and there's a log there also they can sit on and peck at any insects that pop up. And at the back, and Matilda's just modelling it, which is very good, that's actually just a kitchen basin, a washing up basin, and in it there is a combination of earth and sand and something called diatomaceous earth, which is a sort of mineral that is meant to be good for keeping little beasties at bay, so any sort of insects that might want to take up residence on the chickens. This diatomaceous earth is tiny bits of I don't know, crustaceans I suppose, that are so small but they're also very sharp, and it's meant to sort of pierce the coating of any tiny insects to sort of kill them off so that they don't live on the chickens. But only a little bit in there. And the basin with all of that stuff in is a dust bath, because chickens don't wash in water, they have a dust bath. And Matilda's just starting hers, but what they'll ultimately do is sit down and fire dirt over their backs and work it into their feathers and so on, and that's just to clear themselves of any little beasties that might have taken up residence. And they really love having dust baths. This is just a little tiny one that they have inside the run, but in the better weather you'll find them underneath bushes and in flower beds having dust baths, and quite often communal dust baths, and it's quite nice to see actually, because they do love it. And then we've got this device here, this gizmo, which basically is for putting vegetables and fruit in so that the girls can help themselves to it. So you just lift off that little top. I'll quite often put bits of cabbage or cobs of sweet corn in there, and they can just help themselves, and it gives them something to do. And they do love sweet corn and cabbage and all sorts of other vegetables. So yeah, and then obviously we've just got this little bit to go back into the main part of the run. Oh, that noise was my head hitting on the top of the top of the run. Never mind. Okay, so that's the run. Oh, and this one actually has a slightly different type of plastic on the roof. It's this sort of, I don't know what you call it. I don't know, but it's hollow, but it's pretty robust. And again, lets light in, but keeps the weather out. Now you'll also see, and it looks a bit untidy, but I've got see-through tarp around quite a lot of the run, and that is just to keep the weather out over the winter time, because of course, although rain comes from the sky, it also gets blown in sideways and things can get a bit damp in there. So I put this tarp part of the way around the run just to keep the wind out and keep the rain out as well, and the snow. And I'll take most of that back off in the better weather. So although it's winter, it's a glorious day today, and you can see the sun is hitting particularly the extension here, and the girls love just going in there and just having a bit of a sunbathe, sitting on the perch or lying down on the floor. So I'm glad I put this little extension on. And that's us. That's where the girls spend most of their time. You may have noticed it's got quite quiet. And that's because Beryl is no longer in the nest box. She's out and about. So I thought I'd just have a little look and see if she has laid an egg. Now Hamble is still in here. Hello, darling. Hamble's obviously wanting to lay, and she's quiet now because she's got the nest box that she wanted. But let me just have a little reach underneath. Oh, I'm sorry, wee girl. And, still warm, there's Beryl's egg. And I know it's Beryl's egg because of the colour and the shape of it. Beryl lays a sort of lightish, well, medium coloured brown egg. And it's a matte egg. Her sister, who's the same breed, lays a similar egg, but it's slightly smaller and it is glossy. So I can tell the difference. And Hamble here lays a slightly lighter egg than this, which I'll show you when she lays. Or probably in another video. Anyway, I'll leave her to it. Bye bye, Hamble. And I'll take this in and pop it in my rack. Oh, Beryl's followed me in. Here I am in the kitchen, and this is the little helter-skelter or egg-ter-skelter or whatever it's called to keep my eggs in. And here's Beryl's egg, the egg that was just laid. And if I just get... I can't get this hand-wise. Here is Edith's egg, who's the other girl, the sister of Beryl. And let's see where I can look. There we go. See if I put them both together. Don't know whether it's easy to see the difference there. So Beryl's is matte and Edith's is shiny. Anyway, I'll talk more about eggs in another video. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll see you again next week for another Chicken Tuesday. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're interested in following me in my chicken keeping journey. Bye bye for now.